Hi, in this video we're going to see how we can do a nested ifs in the Excel as one of the formula available in Excel. In our case, let's say that I have a tablet, and depending on the quantities available to us, I want to put the status on this option over here. So if the quantity is 0 or less, I want the status to show as a back order. If the quantity is between 1 to 10, it will be limited quantity available. Between 11 to 20, it should show as available. Between 20 to 30 is 5% discount, and if it's above 30, I want to put it over here is a 10% discount. In the regular if function, we can put, for example, in here, I'm just going to go ahead and type in the if function. If you see over here, there are three parameters that required. The first is the logical test, and then the value if it is true, and then the third parameter is the value if it is false, right? Now, if you have a nested if, the second if is gonna get put into the value if it's false. So what you will end up is with a long string of ifs that has the true value and then another if, and then true value and then another if. If you have multiple selection like this, multiple option, that can get very confusing. So what I'm going to show you is how to make it easier to write the nested ifs. We can drag this down so it will open up more space for us. Depending on the criteria, which is, so our criteria is cell B10. We'll do if B10 is less than or equal to 0. This is where we're going to put the true statement. In this case, the true statement is back order. Right? And then we're going to put the comma. This is usually where we put in the else, the false statement. But what we will do is we'll put Alt Enter so it go to the second line. And then we're going to do another if B10 is smaller or equal to 10. Then the true statement is gonna be limited quantity available. It's less than 10, limited quantity available. I'm going to type it here. Okay, and then the next criteria I'm going to put in if B10 is smaller or equal to 20 this time. And then the statement that I want it print over there is available, right? And then I will do the next one if B10 equal to 30 or less than 30, then the status is going to be 5% discount, right? Now everything else above 30, it's going to be 10% discount. So the next statement here is going to be else. So what I will do is in here I will put it as 10% discount, right? I'm going to start closing the parentheses depending on how many level do you have. Over here I have 4 levels, so I'm going to close 4 parentheses, and as you can see, it will match the color. It will bold it, see, the red, and then this close the main one. So now if I hit enter, this status will read from here. So let's say that I change this to 0, this will change to back order. If I change to 20, if I change to 35, then it's going to say 10% discount. If I change to 25, it says 5% discount in here. So this is the formula for the nested if. We can type in all of this as a single line, but for me it's visually much easier to type it this way. It's going to start with if, the criteria, the true statement, and then over here the second if is actually the else, but this is going to be put into the second line, the third line, the fourth line, and then the last one is basically else. One thing that I like to point out regarding the nested if is the way Excel check the if is it's going to check for the first line first. If it return true, then it will put in the back order here into the status, and then it will ignore the rest of the condition. If it returns false, it's going to check on the second line. If it returns false, then it will check on the third line and so on. So for example, if we put in number 10 here, let's say we put in as a criteria between 1 to 10, let's say 5, right? First of all, it's going to check this line and return false. Then it's going to check this. When it returns true, it put in the limited quantity available. The remaining of the criteria is going to get ignored. So you don't need to put in full range, like if it's less than 10 and bigger than 1 or something like that, you don't need to put that kind of full range. All you need to do is just put in the range on the upper bound criteria. That's how it works. If you like this video, feel free to share, click on the like below, or put it in a comment, or subscribe to our channel to get more of these Excel tips and tricks.